So where I lived last night, it snowed. I realized that like we're getting really close to winter. Like it's November here. December is right around the corner. That means winter is right around the corner. And it also means that I have not built any cozy fall inspired builds this year, which is really out of character for me because that's usually what I do, especially this time of the year. But for some reason, I just have not done it. So I was like, maybe we can kind of change that today. Now, I'm in a world called Sugar Maple Coast. If you don't know, it is a custom world that came out a couple months ago. It's a recreation of the Sims 3 pet game from the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 back in the day. It's basically a recreation of that world, but in the PC version of the Sims 3. I did look at this world for a Sims 3 world overview a couple months ago. So if you want to see it, I'll leave a link down below. But I thought maybe today we could build a little fall cozy autumnal house here. So the lot that I'm gonna build on is right by the water. So I was thinking maybe we can kind of incorporate some nautical vibes here and there. Maybe we'll see how it turns out. But my goal for today is just to build a really nice cozy fall house. I don't really expect this house to be that big in the grand scheme of things. I just want to build something kind of small and cozy today. And I don't really have a budget as well, so I can kind of just do whatever I want to today. So we'll just see what we can kind of come up with. So first and foremost, I'm going to just get a fence, and I'm not going to fully fence anything in. I'm just going to like leave some space like this. What I'm also going to most likely do is kind of go in a little bit, and we're going to add some other fence between it. Maybe one that's a little bit taller, maybe like this one. I don't know if I like that. I've seen other people do stuff like this in The Sims. I kind of like it sometimes, but sometimes I kind of don't. We'll do it for today and we'll see what we can come up with. So we're just gonna go in between and just add these. I don't know if I can recolor this fence. Can I recolor this one? No. I know I can recolor the one from Into the Future, but is there like a taller version of this? I'm gonna look and see because I don't remember. There is actually, yes, that's what I need. Okay, we're just gonna use this one instead. So my intention is for us to kind of enter in this way to the lot, you know? I want to also get a foundation. And maybe we can get like a smaller one. So we're gonna hold down the Alt button while we drag out our house. Maybe we can make it one tile in like this. We'll have a little bump out kind of like this for the house. All right, I'm gonna go in now and get a couple of trees. I think I'm gonna use the ones from the pets pack. Maybe we can get like one of these yellow trees, and then we'll get like one of these red ones. I wish these were like a little bit smaller. That's like the one thing about The Sims 3, when you put down plants and stuff, you kind of have to just keep placing them and hopefully you get the size that you want or something that's kind of close to it. Because I don't really want a big, gigantic tree. I think this one may be smaller or they may be the same size. I just want a smaller version of it. Like these trees are just so big. I honestly wish that this would work. That would be so cool if I could get these to click, you know? I think what I'm going to have to do is maybe just make this one tile bigger like this. And then, yeah, you can just kind of pretend that they connect, even though it really doesn't, but you just pretend. I'm going to use the university pack, and we're just going to kind of make a little porch section kind of like this. It may be a little bit too big. I may need to make this a little smaller, but we're going to kind of go for something like this. And then for the rest of the house, we're just going to circle in kind of like so. Yeah, I may have to make this a little bit smaller, y'all. Because, like, what I plan to do is we'll get a couple of columns like this, and then we can get some roof tiles to go over it, and this will be like a porch. But I low-key think that it may need to be a little bit smaller. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how I feel about it. But it could always be like a tile smaller, or we could like push it back a little bit, but I'm not sure yet. All right, y'all. So I have my two gabled roofs right here, and I'm trying to make them kind of go up high. I feel like it makes the house look bigger than it actually is. And then for this section, I don't know what we can do. You think we should get a hipped roof maybe? And kind of like bring it in, and then we can always like lower it down a little bit. I guess we could settle for this color or maybe like a black later. All right, so do you think we could add a little bit of a chimney? Because we could add one if we wanted to. We'll just make like a small, maybe we could do 4 tiles like that. We'll go in with our wall tool and just do like this. We'll go in and get a half wall and kind of circle in like so. Or we could always just like maybe make this piece a little bit bigger and add a roof piece like this to kind of have a slant roof. It just makes it look more interesting from the outside. I don't know, y'all. I kind of like that low key. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and move on to some wallpaper. We'll try to do landscaping as well. Like I said, I'm not really on a budget with this build, so I don't really care about like how expensive it is really. So I'm thinking we can add some of this stone. I may change this later, but we'll just use this for now. All right, y'all. We're going to go in really quick and just get a little path right here to the house. Doesn't really have to be anything super fancy, just something kind of like that. And then I want to go in and I'm going to try to get some more like plants and stuff. I know we have these orange plants, but I don't know if that's going to look nice with everything else that we have going on. We may have to settle for maybe like some red ones like this. We do have some white hydrangeas, which could look really nice as well. We also have some of these plants as well. So, oh, and these yellow bushes could be cute. What if we do a combination of these? Oh, and we do have these plants as well, y'all. We could do maybe 3 different ones. I'm gonna get the siding for the house next, and then we need to worry about the windows. And I'm thinking we can go for an orange color scheme, maybe like an orangey brown, seeing as how I'm trying to go back into that like fall aesthetic. Hopefully you can kind of tell what the color is supposed to be. It looks purple from this angle, but it's supposed to be a brown. I don't know. That's the thing about like building in a Sims 3 sometimes. Depending on the lighting, your build can look completely different. Like this is supposed to be this is supposed to be orange. It looks purple. I don't want to go for a purple house. Like that's not gonna cut it, bro. You think we should go for like a green, maybe? Like a dark green? Maybe we can kind of go for this color. I do quite like it. I'm gonna use the door from University. I want to see if any of the windows from that pack will look good against the house. These would, but these are kind of small. Maybe we can have like one be here. I want to use this, but I kind of don't. Yeah, I don't know if that's really going to be the move for this house. We could always look at the windows from the Supernatural pack. These kind of work, but then we also have the ones from Showtime. These may also be the move as well. What if I were to bring the color wheel over on this window? How would that look? It's honestly about the same. Honestly, like they're about the same window. I don't really know. Why don't we just use the ones from Supernatural? I think that might be better anyway. Do you think I should have like windows be here on the house? I feel like it's not quite even. What if I like bring the chimney in? Because we could have like 2 be there. Yeah, maybe it being smaller would be for the best. So it can actually be even, you know? All right, y'all. So before we go inside, I'm just going to add a couple more trees in the yard. I've already done the floor plan because it took me a while to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. So I think we'll add maybe 1 more plant in the backyard. And I think for the most part, this is how it's going to look. Part of me wants to go back and like add some little flowers that kind of lead up to the house, but I don't know. And then I thought about the fact that maybe since it is fall, I could just put some jack-o'-lanterns out in the yard. Now, we do have pumpkin objects in the game, but whenever you place them down, eventually they rot. I would really hate for y'all to download this build and then, like, not be able to really enjoy the pumpkins because they'll just rot after a while. So what I think I'm going to do is we're going to use jack-o'-lantern objects. We're going to just use these jack-o'-lanterns, and what we're going to do is we're just going to, like, turn them the opposite direction so you can't really tell that they're not pumpkins. I mean, you can kind of tell though, but we'll like just turn them around. Maybe we can have one face, you know, the other way so you can kind of see. But yeah, these are technically lanterns, so they're going to cast a little bit of a glow. You can always turn them off if you don't like it. So like if you wanted to, you could just turn off. And then when you turn them off, they don't really like glow, you know? So you can kind of do something like that. Maybe I can like slightly recolor like one of the pumpkins so it can kind of stand out a little bit. But for the most part, this is how the house is going to look. I think it looks really cozy. So why don't we just go ahead, y'all, and jump on the inside. Like I said, I've done the floor plan off camera because it took me a while to kind of figure out how I wanted things to be. So this is what we're going to work with. So when you first come in, we're going to have like a little foyer. I don't know what I'm going to put here. I may just delete this half wall. So when you first come in though, I think I want this to be a living room. So we're going to have a couch maybe somewhere around here. And then I want this to lead into the kitchen area. And then from the kitchen, we'll have a hallway that leads to the bedrooms. So we're going to have like a nursery, and then we'll have like, you know, like a parent's bedroom or whatever. So we'll have like a bigger bedroom this way, and then we'll have a bathroom here. I know that this may not be the best floor plan all time. I wanted something kind of small and cozy vibes. So hopefully this kind of plays into that, you know. I think what I may do is I may move this archway a little bit over to the side like that. This way we can have more room for like a couch and TV and stuff. Now, I would love to have a combination of hardwood floors and carpet for this house because I'm trying to go for like really cozy vibes. I think what I'm going to do is we'll have a hardwood floor be in the hallway, and then we'll have maybe carpet in the bedrooms, and then we can have like tile in the kitchen and in the bathroom as well. I want this house to kind of have like older vibes, you know, so I'm gonna go for some wood paneling for the wallpaper. Okay, y'all, so I kind of was playing around with the color wheel a little bit, so I think we're gonna have an accent wall maybe here, or I may have the accent wall be alongside this wall so you can actually see it a little bit more, but I do like this burgundy color scheme, so I think we're going to go with it. For this section, I would love to have a TV, and I'm thinking about using this one, from the 70s, 80s, and 90s stuff pack. It just looks like one of those like old family TVs, you know? Or I could always use this one as well. This one isn't as big and we can put more stuff behind it, so maybe I might use this one. I'm gonna make sure I get a nice, maybe like a love seat actually, because I do want to get a couch, but I feel like that might be too big. So maybe like a love seat and a couple of chairs, or maybe like a love seat and a recliner. So we'll just use both of these here. And then I want to make sure I get a rug. I know we have a carpet down here, but sometimes I like to put rugs on carpets. So we'll just do something like that. I'm going to use a end table, maybe this one, because it's not really that big. We're going to make sure we get a couple pumpkins in here. We also have a pumpkin shelf object, so I may use that as well. Maybe this lamp right here wouldn't be so bad if I put it behind it. And then you think we have enough space for an end table. This may be doing a little bit too much, but I would like a little end table right there. I would like to have another chair in here somewhere. Maybe we'll just put one in the corner of the room. Maybe a bookshelf. I was thinking about a dresser, which could also work, but maybe a bookshelf also. Let's try the dresser idea first, and if I don't like it, we'll use a bookshelf. But there is one from the Sims 3 store that's not really that big, and I think it will look really nice in this corner. Maybe, yeah, this one right here. I think this will look really nice. We'll get a mirror, and I may have to use the Sims 3 tool mod to make it come over a little bit more. I'm just gonna move this to the right a little bit. All right, I'm gonna just change the color of this pumpkin back here. And then we do have like a pumpkin shelf object. Here we go, this is what I was talking about. I would love to get this shelf. Oh, it's not gonna work. Maybe with move objects turned on, it'll work. I could just like squeeze that right above the TV like so. And then I'm gonna just like raise this up a little bit with the Sims 3 tool mod. That'll look really nice, I think. Maybe we can keep this one orange, but just like a different shade or something. All right, y'all. So I think for the most part, this room can be done. I went in and I added some blinds and some curtains in here. Oh, I also found these pumpkins right here. So I'm going to definitely use these a lot more. We could put some down there. I also found this duck lamp. Maybe we could put that in here as well. Let's go ahead and move on to the next room because this needs to be the kitchen space. I want to have wallpaper in the kitchen as well, but I think I'm going to go for a different color altogether. And also, we may even go for like a different design. I'm trying to think of like things that could be like fall-esque. Like I really like this leaf design, but we also have like mushrooms that we can use. Mushrooms can kind of go in with it, I think. Like it doesn't really have to scream fall, in my opinion, but maybe like some nice mushrooms could be kind of cool. I really want a vintage fall look for this house. And then maybe for the tile down here, do you think we should go for green? I feel like I'm using a lot of green in this house, but green could look nice. So when it comes to the table, normally I do use the one from the pets pack, but we could look around for other ones. I want one that's kind of on the medium side, maybe one like this, or honestly maybe this one right here. But I want one on the medium side just enough so it can fit in the corner. And speaking of, I should probably turn off move objects really quick, just so I can make sure that we'll have enough space. But I would love to have one maybe be here, and then we could have some chairs to go with it. I'm gonna use another one of these pumpkin shelf decor pieces, and I'm just gonna move it over so it doesn't really clip with the blinds. I am gonna also use the table from the World Adventures pack and maybe the matching chairs to go with it. I'm gonna use some of these pumpkins over here as well. I am gonna change the color of these chairs so they can match more with the table. I would have loved to use a china cabinet here, but it's not going to fit, and it's not going to fit here either. I could put it in the kitchen, but that might be doing like a little bit too much, honestly. So I don't know about that one. Maybe we'll just keep that there for now. I would very much like to get some kitchen counters, so I'm thinking of maybe these from base game. We also have these that have like the design on them. That could also work. Let's look at the swatch options. Let's see. These come in like different designs. Do any of these scream fall? Maybe the one with the corn on it. We'll use that one, y'all. The corn one is kind of giving fall. This might have to be something we either use here or like somewhere else, low-key. All right, we're going to get the ones with corn for the counters and cabinets. And then I want to get some pots and pans and just kind of bridge this little gap right here. But I think this is what we're going to go for the kitchen. We have a lot of counter space in here, so we should definitely fill it up with stuff. So I'm thinking a food processor, maybe in the corner, or maybe we can have it over there. We could definitely use a microwave. Guess I'll use like maybe one of these older looking ones, and we'll get maybe like an older looking coffee machine. Actually, let me swap these around. We're gonna get this one and put it here, and then we'll put like that right there. But okay, y'all, I think that can maybe be it for this section. All I may do to kind of finish off this room, we need to get a trash can, which I guess I could put it in the corner. That works. I don't really think we need to add much more, so I'll just get like a rug. Or actually, let's get the other one. Let's get the one from the base game. This one could work because it's not as big. Y'all, I found these cornucopia harvest Sconces, I'm gonna use a couple of these because, like, how can I not? I don't think we're gonna use this china cabinet, y'all. I want it to, but I don't think we're gonna use it. So we're gonna go over now to, this is like the hallway office space kind of. So I am going for vintage vibes, but we could maybe have a computer desk in here, you know? So I am gonna just change the color of the wallpaper. We're gonna go for something a little bit darker, kind of like that, I think. Do you think I should put some carpet around here? Like, a part of me wants to do something like this where I have like a section that's carpet, but then like the rest of it is hardwood floor. I don't think that's too far-fetched. So maybe we can go for that. So what I may do now is we may just separate these a little bit, kind of like this. And then I could have a computer desk be in the middle of it. So I'm going to maybe use this one from Seasons. This is like my favorite desk in the game. And then, oh, actually, you know what? We may use this in the bathroom. Maybe I'll put that there. We'll have a computer desk. We'll have maybe like a slightly more modern computer. Or you know what? If we're going for vintage vibes, let's go for an old computer. I'll make sure we have a rolling chair. Maybe we'll just use this one. This is like my favorite one. Oh, I didn't even realize this was here. Oops. Maybe we can put that there. Yeah, but we'll have like a little rolling chair here. And then we can definitely put a bookshelf because I want a bookshelf in this house. So we're going to use, ooh, should we use this one as kind of like nautical themed? Maybe we can have that be there. I may move this door to be here, or you think I should have the door be here? Maybe the door can be there for like the bathroom. But these cornucopia lights, y'all, are so cute. I definitely got to use these. We're going to put one right there too. I guess what we'll do next is go for a love seat or something here, or like a couch right here, you know, just to kind of have something in the hallway. That could work. And then maybe a plant in the corner right here. We could use the ones from Pets, or there's also this one from Base Game. That could be kind of cozy in the corner as well. And then I'm thinking like a painting or something right here, or maybe put a painting right here in the middle, because I feel like there's like a lot of stuff here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just like put this here, and then maybe we'll have like another painting or something right here. Oh, there's this one with the leaves on it. That could work. Oh, and you know what I usually do, y'all? I love to pair this with that end table from the Seasons pack. This one right here. I love to pair these together. And then maybe like a nice rug right here. Do we have like an oval rug? We do have an oval one, but this one is kind of small. I wish we had one that was bigger. That was just like this, but bigger. That kind of sucks. But we could always just go for this one. That's fine. All right, so I put a plant on it. And then what I may also do is get that ship object from the Generations pack. Since we're kind of going for a slight nautical vibe, but not like full on nautical, we could just have one right there. That's kind of cute, right? Maybe we should change the color of it from green to like maybe like a beige color like that, you know? I think this section can maybe be done, y'all. I may get another one of these little cornucopia things and put it in the hallway right here. Why don't we do the bathroom next, since it's really, really small? We're going to use some of the same tile from the kitchen. You think we should use this wallpaper in here? Maybe we'll change the color of it. And we can also use wallpaper in the bedrooms as well, but we'll change them. All right, we'll see what we can do in the bathroom. I was thinking of a shower tub combo, if I'm being honest with you. Like, have one be there. But the thing is, like, where's the toilet gonna go? I guess the toilet can go there. Yeah, actually, that kind of works. Yeah. Okay, never mind. This actually works, y'all. We'll swap out that toilet for this one. It looks more vintage. And we don't really have like a vintage looking shower tub combo. We have this one that looks a little bit older, but I think we'll just use this one. I'll make sure we get a sink. Ooh, you think we should use this one, y'all? Let's just use this one. And I'll make sure that I get maybe like this mirror in here. Looks older, and then maybe like a small rug. But the bathroom isn't that big, so there's not a whole lot we can do in here, you know. But I'll make sure we get like a little rug, maybe like right there. All right, y'all, I went in and I recolored the toilet, the sink, and the shower to kind of have like an off-white color, you know, because it's kind of old. And then the last thing we have to do is just recolor the rug, which I don't know what kind of design I want. You think we should just go for something basic? We'll have the wallpaper and the rug match, you know, because why not? But I think that's all we can really do for the bathroom. So we'll move on to the bedrooms. Let's go with the bigger one first, and then we'll go to the smaller one. I'm going to recolor the rug and also the wallpaper as well. I'm not sure about the color scheme. We could go for like a brownish. I'm looking for colors to kind of complement each other, so maybe like a brown for the wallpaper. Now we'll go in and use the bed. I'm thinking of the one from the base game, maybe. You think we should have it be facing this way? And then we can use 2 nightstands. You think we should use these? I don't really use these nightstands, but we could use those. We could also have a dresser, maybe like in the corner of the room, or maybe kind of like underneath the window like that. We could always use these cornucopia lights. Do you think I should have them above where the bed is, like this? And we just kind of bring them down a little bit. You know what? Actually, I don't think I'm going to use that mirror, y'all. I'm going to use one of the standing ones, and I'm going to put it I guess like right here, that could kind of work. I want to use more of these. I'm gonna put one there and then we'll like turn it off. Or you know what? Maybe I should make it match with the one in the kitchen so it could just kind of look a little bit different, you know? Do you think I should get one of those pumpkin things to go above the bed? Like we can get this one and then I'll like just put it here. That actually fits. That's kind of weird, y'all. I was not expecting that to fit that perfect. You'd think I could like maybe move this over a tile then, like so. But I was not expecting that to fit perfectly. That's interesting. And I guess to finish off the bedroom, I should get like a little clock or something just to put, I guess like one of these would work. Just like a little clock or something. Okay, I think we can maybe be done with the bedroom for now. And we'll move on to the last room, which is going to be the nursery. All right, I'm going to just change the floor to have a slight green tint. We're going to go for a falling leaf kind of vibe for the bedroom. It's just going to take me a while to fiddle around with the wallpaper to get it kind of like I want. But I want like falling leaves kind of, you know? I'm going to also change the curtains to be a little bit brighter. Or honestly, maybe they could be like more orangey. Maybe that might make more sense. I'm going to make sure I get a rocking chair in here. I'm just going to put this here for now. And I want to get a crib. Maybe we can go for this one since I'm going for like an older vibe, you know? I would love to use a bookshelf. And I'm thinking of the one from the Generations pack, because it has the stuffed animals on it. Yeah, y'all, that's gonna be like really nice there. We'll get like a circular rug, and then I guess the rocking chair can go in the corner. I'm gonna have to turn on move objects for this one because yeah, you know, but we could definitely have a rocking chair being here. We can also get a little toy box. This one kind of has like a more like vintage design. All right, y'all, I went in and I recolored everything. I'm just gonna add one more pumpkin shelf decor piece, and then I think we'll be done with the entire build. Okay, y'all, so I think on that note, that's everything that I want to do for the entire build. So we'll look at it really quick before we go. Again, this is kind of how the outside looks. There's a lot of empty space if you want to add more stuff, but I didn't really do like too much out here, really. I think it looks kind of nice. It definitely gives off that cozy fall vibe. Not so much nautical, which is okay. I feel like I went with more of a vintage kind of theme, which is still nice, but this is basically how it looks from the outside. And if we go ahead and open it up really quick, you'll see that we have a little living room section. So we have a TV, we have some chairs in here, we have a dresser, a mirror, another chair. So it's like a small cozy living room. If we go over here, we have our kitchen. So we have 2 sinks, we have our fridge, stove, we have a coffee machine and a microwave. So there's a lot of stuff in the kitchen. We also have a little table over here as well. And then if we go down here, we have a home office in the hallway, basically. So we have our computer desk, bookshelf, a little place to sit. And then we have like a little narrow hallway. And then we have a bathroom over here on this side. And then over here, we have a nursery, and we also have our primary bedroom. But that's basically everything for the entire house, y'all. If you would like to download this house, I am going to leave it linked down below. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. I don't really think I used that much store content. I think for the most part, it was just like the free stuff from the store, like the pumpkins and like other fall stuff. But I think everything else is pretty much just content, like packs and stuff like that. So hopefully this build will be a little bit more accessible for you. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below, follow me over on Twitch where I stream a lot more The Sims, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Thanks for watching!